Let me ask you a very important question. What's the difference between a chicken and a featherless chicken? Well, the chicken is wearing a coat, but this chicken is basically a chicken and a chicken head. And also, what's the difference between an owl and a featherless owl? Well, this one is very fluffy, but this one has a long-ass legs. Before I start this lecture, I just wanted to celebrate because today is the day where I released my 8th lecture last year. This is the lecture where I had done that sexy dance, and also it is nearly reaching up to 3,000 views at the moment. So please check that episode out. Alright, my babies? Hit the intro. My name is Joshua and welcome to our lecture. This topic was part of my research degree for my Master of Music. And I have to tell you, this was basically my favorite topic that I have written for my research project. However, this topic will not be explained the same way as how I did with my Master of Music research. But I'm going to do this in much more of a YouTube content lectures style. So you don't need to worry too much about this because it's not going to be that kind of a, presentation. Without further ado, let's do this. Let me ask you this very simple question. How do you fail your assignment? 2 ways. 1, you don't submit your assessment. And 2, you copy someone else's essay and paste it onto your document and submit that same document that you have used from someone else's project. And normally, people always choose that second option. Why? Because they just want to at least get a little bit of that point, even if they're gonna get a fail. But you gotta understand, with the fact that you're copying someone else's work and pasting it into your own project, you're gonna get a big fat 0. So there's another way of getting a fail, and that is plagiarizing. So avoid the copying, yeah, but you copy the same thing, but you change a couple of words, like you're using a bit of a thesaurus sometimes, then you're gonna get a big black F. So ladies and gentlemen, that is called plagiarism. So basically plagiarism when you steal someone else's idea and you make it look like your own idea. So if your goal is not to fail your assessment, then you should consider yourself referencing. When you copy the text, you put it to quotation mark and then you reference it saying where you got this text from. Basically saying, I got this text from this text, and you're saying like, oh, this is from this information, and this information came from this information. So at this time, you understand what copying is, and you understand what plagiarism is. So you should never ever copy or plagiarize, but you can copy and you can put quotation marks in it and explain why you're using this information and what is that relevant to your essay topic. And now, we're going to talk about paraphrase. So, what is paraphrase? To repeat something written or spoken using different words, often in a humorous form or in a simpler and short form that make the original clearer. Of course, when you paraphrase, you must reference where you got that information from. So paraphrase is not copying and paraphrase is not plagiarism. It's a complete different thing. So let me give you an example of what paraphrase is. This kid, Billy, kicked me in the balls and told me that I am pregnant. So I told the teacher about the situation and that teacher told me to throw him into the trash can. So now let's paraphrase this in my own words. Once upon a time, there was a student named Billy who decided to physically abuse my testicles by telling me that I am pregnant. Therefore, I decided to do the right thing. And that right thing was to go to the teacher and basically dump on the student. And that is when the teacher gave me the specific instructions, which was to throw Billy directly into the garbage can and expect him to die. Okay, paraphrase can be a bit shorter or it can be a bit longer, but it has to make sense in a way that other people would understand what you're talking about. So first, when you're reading something, you must understand it first, and then you can paraphrase it because you fully understand what it means. And whenever you paraphrase, you must include every single information that you have got from that context. check out the video about a composer or a person who copies other people's compositions, then check out the 11th lecture where it talks about copy, plagiarism, and stolen music. If you put the word paraphrase in a musical definition, it is actually very, very similar to how you paraphrase the text. But people get confused between paraphrase and transcription. So now a new question is, what is the difference between these two things? So the definition of transcribe is to change a piece of writing or music, but in this case we're talking about music, into another form. For example, into different writing system or into music for different instruments. So it's the same composition, but you make it for a different instrument. For example, of a transcription. This is an original. And this is a transcription. Here's another one. This is an original. And this is a transcription. Yeah, so you get the general idea. Transcription is very similar to paraphrase, but it has a little twist. So let's look at the definition of paraphrase one more time. To repeat something written or spoken using different words. So in music, it's not different words, it could be different notes or different harmony. So often in a humorous form, so it can be done in a humorous style. So whenever you're paraphrasing music, it can be composed in a humorous style. So it's kind of like giving yourself a bit of a change in a way that either, like the actual original definition of paraphrase, you make other people understand what it is, or it can be reinterpreted in a humorous style. But I don't really find this as a very humorous if you actually look at the real serious paraphrase composition. So then what kind of a music will it be considered as a paraphrase? Ladies and gentlemen, this is finally the real meat of this dish. And throughout this chapter, we are going to do the comparison. We're going to be doing a comparison between an original and a paraphrase. So behold, there's a massive chapter where I'm going to be doing a massive... However, the paraphrase will be performed on the piano by me. An old video. It's a video that I've been filmed last year because I just can't be bothered. The chosen paraphrase in this video is an opera Rigoletto. To the people who doesn't know what Rigoletto is, this is the opera where they have that song but that's not the song that has been paraphrased. It's actually a different song from that opera, but even more better than that song. 4 singers singing in that piece. So basically it's a quartet. So let me be very quick about explaining this whole entire situation. So this is a story about a court jester named Rigoletto, and he is a court jester. You know, the court jester where he goes, who works for this guy who is a Duke of Mantua. And this Mantua is a playboy. Yeah, he's a playboy. And the sad part is Rigoletto's daughter Gilda is in love with Mantua. So Rigoletto shows Gilda what kind of a man Mantua is. So this is when Mantua starts saying, La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento. So this is the part where Gilda gets heartbroken. So let's look at the paraphrase first. Now let's look at the original. Bella figlia dell'amore.
schiavo son de vezzi tuoi.
You see? Not that bad after all. So in the next lectures, I'm gonna make a lecture about transcribing and orchestrating. So this is gonna be a big, fat, juicy one next time. And then I saw get short! Do you agree with my lecture? Look how sexy my hair is. So if you disagree, if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about, first I'm going to give you a massive slap in the face, and then you can leave a comment down below. So I'll see you in the next lecture. My name is Joshua Wapakin, and as always, take care.